But these two have, like you say, true to form, advanced to the second round at number 7 seed versus number 10.
Well, 5 out of 8 games on the first day were won by the unseeded teams. 5 out of 8 yesterday on the second day were won by the unseeded teams. On the entire top half of the second round bracket, the only seeded team remaining is number 1, William Penn. Everybody else was an unseeded winner. And at the bottom of the bracket, there are 2 matchups between seeded winners, including this one between Dordt and Indiana Wesleyan, and the other one matches number 11 Indiana Southeast and number 6 St. Xavier that will be played at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Here's a look at the starting lineups today for the Dordt College Defenders. They are 27-6 under 4th-year head coach Ross Dalma. They defeated Northwest University 79-59 in their first round game. Here's their lineup today, starting at 1 guard, Cliff Warner, a 5'11 senior from Altoona, Iowa. The other guard is Austin Kotche, a 6'4 junior from Orange City, Iowa. At the 3 forward spots, Kyle Lindberg, a 6'7 junior from Margate, Florida. Trevor Wolterstorff, a 6'4 senior from Sioux Center. And Jordan Vogel, a 6'7 senior from Rock Valley, Iowa, rounds out the starting lineup for Dordt. So Warner, Kotche, Lindberg, Wolterstorff, and Vogel for the Dordt Defenders. Indiana Wesleyan is 26-6 for the year under 8th-year head coach Greg Tonigal, a graduate of Valparaiso University. Indiana Wesleyan defeated Lourdes in overtime in their first game Thursday, 62-60. Here's the lineup today for the Wildcats. Starting at 1 guard, DJ Bettinger, a 5'11 sophomore from Richfield, Ohio. And the other guard, Jordan Widener, and he's quite a playmaker, 6'2 and a junior from Danville, Illinois, averaging 17 points a game. At the forward spots, Taylor Schoen, a 6'4 senior from Oxford, Indiana. Zach Vandewater, a 6'5 sophomore from Warsaw, Indiana. And Patrick Hopkins, the player of the year in the Crossroads League, a 6'7 senior from Kokomo, Indiana. So for the Wildcats, Bettinger, Widener, Schoen, Vandewater, and Hopkins. The officials are Matt Mason, Ronnie Watson, and Charlie Bolinek. And we'll get this game underway in just a little bit. They're bringing some kids out for honors, as they have done before the second game here for the first couple of days of this tournament.
And the NAIA is proud of its program that's called Champions of Character, and the College of the Ozarks, where this is hosted at Point Lookout, Missouri, has taken upon itself to kind of broaden that base and gone down even to the elementary and the middle school level at the local schools around, and have got – they're going to be introducing the Champions of Character from some respective schools around in the area, so that's why the delay.
Dordt is out of the Great Plains Athletic Conference. They won that postseason tournament to qualify. They're making their 3rd appearance in the national tournament and now have a record of 3-2 after their win yesterday. Dordt was in the field in 2006 as an unseeded team and lost to Lindenwood in the first round. And last year, they defeated Cal Maritime in their first game. They were the 4 seed, Dordt was. They defeated Warner Pacific in the second round and then lost to McPherson in the quarterfinals. Indiana Wesleyan makes its 6th tournament appearance in the NAIA Men's Division II Nationals. They are from the Crossroads League and were the regular season champion. Their overall tournament record now is 9-5 after their overtime win over Lourdes on Thursday. They were quarterfinalists in 2007, 09, 10, and 11, but last year lost in the first round to Warner Pacific in overtime. So this will be a fun matchup, 7 versus 10 in this second round game here at College of the Ozarks.
And as far as history, you went over the history of both respective clubs, but as far as experience, both of these teams, of course, played last year, as Don has already said, but Indiana Wesleyan has been here. This is the 5th year in a row for them, so got some experience as far as knowing what to expect, but You know, it's a national tournament, second round. A lot of times in a tournament, that first round game, you just never really play as well as you normally do, and maybe the jitters will be gone here in this second round as we get ready to tip Dordt and Indiana Wesleyan.
Matt Mason set to put the ball in the air, and away we go in the second round, and the ball will go out of bounds. It will belong to Indiana Wesleyan, and Dordt will get the possession arrow. The winner of this game will play tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock against the winner of today's 1:45 p.m. game between unseeded Bellevue and number 2 seed Cardinal Stritch. So underway here with Indiana Wesleyan and Dordt. Indiana Wesleyan in the white, Dordt in the black. They'll look down to Patrick Hopkins. He'll try to back it in, works his way to the basket, and can't get the finish. Rebounded by Jordan Vogel at 6'7" and a senior for Dordt. And a steal. It'll come the other way for Zach Vandewater. He misses. The follow misses. And another chance for the Wildcats.
Indiana Wesleyan very early dominating the boards. Of course, Dordt hadn't been able to get it across half court yet, but Indiana Wesleyan running their offense, like to go down inside to their big man, Patrick Hopkins, as he's a load down there.
A minute in, still no score. Down the lane again for Hopkins, and he scores.
And just an example I was talking about going down to Patrick Hopkins because of the size and the girth that he has. 6'7", 230 is what he's listed, probably 240 or 245, but he's a nice player down inside for the Wildcats.
Hopkins came into this tournament the second leading rebounder in the nation at this level, 10.56 rebounds per game. Now Dordt with Cliff Warner. The lane to Wolterstorff, and he scores.
Wolterstorff, a recipient of a nice pass by Cliff Warner. He's the guy that makes the defenders go, is Cliff Warner, and he found Wolterstorff cutting the lane, and it's 2-2 here early in the game.
Wolterstorff was first team all Great Plains Athletic Conference. Again, it's Patrick Hopkins now.
Gets the ball, does a spin move, drop step, and uncontested right there at the rim, and puts it home, 4-2 for the Wildcats.
Dordt with Austin Kotche. Top of the circle for Warner, and he lost it. Picked up by Hopkins. He'll bring it ahead. One-on-one for the finish, and the score is Zach Vandewater.
I'll tell you what, the defensive plan looks like once Cliff Warner gives the ball up, the defensive plan of the Wildcats from Indiana Wesleyan is to not allow Warner to get the ball back. We have a whistle and a foul as Warner was fouled as he comes across the lane. Foul's going to go against Taylor Schoen, his first of Indiana Wesleyan, but looks like they're going to try to deny Warner the ball once he gives it up and not kind of disrupt the offense of the defenders.
Sean Kaiser is in for Dordt, 6'3" senior from Sioux Center. Out for a three, and that's down for Austin Kotche. 51st three-pointer of the season. A 10-point-a-game score.
Just rose up from about 20 feet out, and Kotche hits nothing but net. The high arcing shot goes through, 6-5, Indiana Wesleyan.
Now long two is no good for Widener, and put back in by Schoen. Taylor Schoen made his first start of the season in the opening round game here against Lords, and now he's liked it so well he started again, and he gets a basket here.
One of those guys opportunistic. You give me a chance to start, and you're not going to get your starting position back, whoever position he took, and started off this game very well.
Now a scramble for it, picked up by Indiana Wesleyan. Pull up three, Bettinger. Won't go. Rebound to Sean Kaiser. Chris Sievers is on the floor as well for Dordt. He wears 55 in the black, a 6'8" senior. Three ball for Kotche.
I tell you, 2 times in a row, Kotche caught the ball way out there, a step or two behind the arc, and just rises up without any hesitation and drains both of them.
8-8 tie, second tie of the day. Shot blocked here from Widener. Now a three out of the corner, not there.
Warner gets the ball, and what does he do? He finds a cutting Kaiser down the middle of the lane, and like I say, once Warner gets the ball, he can find you if you get open.
First lead of the day for Dordt. Now it comes to Patrick Hopkins. Kind of a high dribble, but that's okay, and he puts it in.
And Hopkins, again, just backs his defender down as he maintains his dribble, gets up there close, and puts it up off the glass and in. 10-10 is the scores. We got the game we anticipated.
Yeah, 6 early points for Hopkins, who was a National Player of the Week award winner January 15th. Now he gets the rebound.
Seavers a little bit frustrated there as Hopkins just went up and played good defense, kept his hands straight up and denied Seavers the basket, and Wesleyan back on the attack.
5 minutes in, a 10-10 tie. Across it goes for 3 for Bettinger. He misses a second time. Coming ahead, a Wildcat goes down in the lane, and Seavers gets tied up.
Fortunate that Seavers wasn't called for a charge there, as he does get tied up, and possession error will favor Dordt, but ball out underneath their own basket for the defenders.
Several subs in for both sides now. George Jones IV is in for Indiana Wesleyan, a 6'3 senior from South Bend. Aaron Martin is in, a 6'5 senior from Rossville, Indiana. We'll run down the rest as we move along. Inbounds comes to Kotji. Kyle Lindbergh back on the floor for Dordt. Inside, a score for Jordan Vogel.
Vogel waited for the defense to clear as he went up with the shot fake, got 2 Wildcats in the air, and then shot the ball uncontested, and we got a steal at the other end.
Widener went to the basket, but lost the ball on the way. Now down toward the block for Dordt, but Vogel will bring it back out. Vogel gives to Cliff Warner. Play disrupted, but Warner recovers. 6 to shoot for Dordt. Over to the corner. Out on the wing for a 3. Kotji rattles it out. Picked up and put back in by Kyle Lindbergh.
Kyle Lindbergh did not give up on the ball that time, and he got the ball and was right there at the basket off the rebound and scored.
Lindbergh had 6 points and 10 rebounds in Dordt's win over Northwest. Now Jones finds a open look, and it won't go. Out of bounds, Dordt possession.
Dordt 14, Indiana Wesleyan 10. Still 13 minutes and 19 seconds to go in this first half as we're at the national tournament, the NAIA Division II national tournament at Point Lookout, Missouri.
Timeout, a full timeout, with 13:19 to go on the first half clock.
And pretty well the situation that Dordt, like I was talking about, that Warner has been denied the ball, but everyone else has kind of picked up the slack and shared the basketball really well, and that has allowed Dordt to go ahead and get those scores. 14-10 is our score at the time. Welcome to today's contest. College of the Ozarks and the NAIA have formed a partnership to promote character-driven intercollegiate athletics. The NAIA Champions of Character program empowers student athletes, coaches, officials, and fans to have high standards and embody what character truly means in a competitive arena. Thank you for your support and enjoy the game. I tell you, this has been a high-energy first 7 minutes. We're just 19 seconds away from the entire 7 minutes, but it's been high energy both ways. Dordt has a good cheering section, but by the same token, so does Indiana Wesleyan. So this game, as it goes along, it could get pretty loud in here. It's a nice atmosphere for these two teams.
Dordt has just a huge cheering section. I think easily, maybe besides College of the Ozarks, the biggest that's in this tournament.
And the same thing last year. I remember that they brought a ton of people last year also. So good support for the Dordt defenders.
They are from Sioux Center, Iowa. Here's a three that's off, no good for Austin Kotche.
And Kotche, that's the second one he's missed, but even the ones that he missed look like they're going in. He's awfully close right there, as he's a good shooter.
Now the Wildcats try to work it close. Parker Stauffer there on the inside now for the Wildcats, a 6'7" junior from Wabash, Indiana. This will go out of bounds to the defenders. Taylor Schoen back into the lineup for Indiana Wesleyan. Here comes Kylan Doubles. Love that name. 5'10" freshman from Kokomo.
Kokomo, Indiana, is, Dordt College aptly named the defenders because they are doing a good job thus far of kind of frustrating the Indiana Wesleyan Wildcats and playing very good defense.
Nathan Rendles is in at a guard for Dordt. He wears 15 in the black. Down low it goes. Big jam for Jordan Vogel.
Jordan Vogel, eyes lit up. You can see it from here on the sideline as he saw an opening and just threw it down, I'm telling you.
16-10 now for Dordt. A 14-4 surge for the defenders, and it's swatted away. Patrick Hopkins was on the bench and now back in for the Wildcats, and here comes Chris Sievers to try to guard him. Also in Trevor Wolterstorff.
And Patrick Hopkins really hasn't touched the ball the last 3 or 4 times down the court, and it's imperative that he get his hands on the ball and try to make something happen down low.
Now Hopkins to the basket and fouled by Chris Sievers.
And that's the ability that Hopkins has got. He can break the defense down, and either you give up the easy shot inside, or this time Chris Sievers guilty of the foul, and stepping to the line will be Patrick Hopkins for 2 shots.
Hopkins had 19 points and 13 rebounds against Dordt. He is battling Stephen Harris from Warner Pacific for the national rebound leadership in rebounds per game. He makes the first one here. So after figuring in his 13 boards against Lords, that took him to 10.56. Stephen Harris came into the tournament at 10.55, and I didn't see how many he got last night. Second one is no good.
So it's a close battle, as, like you say, Patrick makes 1 of 2 shots, Patrick Hopkins.
Now the Wildcats work it inside. Pass too tall and out of bounds.
Good idea, just a little bit too far out of the reach of the teammate down low, and does go out of bounds. And Dordt with that 16-11 lead with 11:43 to go in the first half.
The defenders look to keep this momentum that they've established. Inside, Sievers working against Hopkins. Dangerous pass across the lane, but Dordt contains it. Kotche for 3, a little too much. Rebound out to Kylan Doubles. Now ahead, Doubles stripped to the ball.
Good job by Kotche that time, just reached in and got the ball as Doubles was going up for the shot, and very cleanly stole the basketball.
Into the lane. Off the glass and in for Trevor Wolterstorff. He's the scoring and rebound leader for Dordt, 14.6 points a game, 6.7 rebounds.
I tell you, both teams are really playing some good defense out there. Both teams are having a tough time getting in their offense. We're down to 18 seconds to go on the shot clock and finally get the ball with some semblance of order.
Hopkins working hard, but a miss. Tap no good. Third try and a foul will put Taylor Schoen on the free throw line.
Taylor Schoen working very hard as Hopkins missed the inside shot that time, but Schoen right there and tipped it the first time, missed that and went and got it, and then drew the foul.
Kyle Lindbergh, the foul. Now it'll be Jordan Widener back in for Indiana Wesleyan, along with Zach Vandewater. Sean Kaiser back in, and Tyler Wolterstorff on the floor now for Dordt as well.
Schoen makes the first of two and comes away with one of two free throws.
Dordt tries to work it into Sievers, and it's out of bounds.
That little low bounce pass, that's awfully hard for anyone to catch, and sometimes it's hard for those big guys to get down there in position to catch the ball, and just goes out of bounds. And Indiana Wesleyan back on the attack.
At the midway point of the first half, Dordt leads at 18-12. Widener down the lane. Lot of traffic and no call. He picks it up and misses. He'll try again, a third try, no call, and no make for Widener.
Could have been lots of things called, anything from a jump ball to a foul to the shot going in as far as that's concerned, but the officials just letting them play. It didn't get too awfully rough, but got an injury now.
Official timeout. And
Wolterstorff
Tyler Wolterstorff is going to go back to the bench. Jordan Vogel checks in.
I'm not sure the nature of why he told the official he needed to come out, but looks like he's walking all right, so it looks like he's going to be able to come back into the game. Might have got a shot to the midsection or something, but we play on.
Eight on the shot clock for the defenders. Now shot up and in and out. Follow, good.
Sievers comes up there misses his own shot and comes back and puts his own. Tyler Wolterstorff, Trevor.
Yeah.
Worked hard in there, did the defenders to get that basket.
Now back down. Dordt, ball stripped away, out of bounds to the defenders. Dordt is 27-6 for the year after their win over Northwest. The handful of teams to beat them: Doane College of Nebraska, Midland, which won in overtime here earlier, Nebraska Wesleyan, Dakota State, Nebraska Wesleyan again, and Northwestern College, which lost last night even though they were the number 4 seed. Hopkins with a miss.
And Warner gets the ball first time in a while without a defender, and what does he do? He takes it all the way to the basket, to the baseline, and then makes a nice pass inside, and is able to score is Jordan Vogel.
Timeout.
10-point lead for the Dordt defenders now, 22-12 here with 8:25 to go in the first half.
The 20-6 run now for Dordt, and Greg Tonigal forced to take the timeout to try to settle his team.
Good morning and welcome to today's matchup between Dordt College defenders and the Indiana Wesleyan Wildcats. College of the Ozarks and the NAIA are committed to maintaining the true spirit of competition. Please do your part by showing respect to every spectator, student athlete, coach, and official in today's contest. Thank you very much.
Indiana Wesleyan 26-6 coming into today. Their only losses have been to Cornerstone from Michigan, Spring Arbor also from Michigan, Grace College, which is in the tournament field, Spring Arbor a second time, St. Francis, and Huntington in the conference tournament in the Crossroads League.
And got the number 7 seed, did Indiana Wesleyan, going up against the number 10 seed Dordt College, and right now Dordt with a 10-point lead, 22-12.
11 to shoot, spin into the lane, and Taylor Schoen gets fouled.
Austin Kachi, I believe, is going to be whistled for the foul as he picks up his first, does Austin, and sending Schoen to the line for a 2-shot foul. Third team foul for Dordt. Only one team foul for Indiana Wesleyan. Makes the first of 2, does Taylor Schoen.
Just under 8 minutes to go in the half. Schoen gets 2 out of 2. Dordt leads 22-14. And the defenders so far have just looked like a team that should be playing at least on Monday and maybe Tuesday.
They're just playing so well and so confident. They just go down there and feel like they're going to score or make something happen every time. And as we say that, drive to the basket by Jordan Vogel, and he's guilty for the charge. But that aside, still, they just got that look about them. They just feel like that they're just coming out very confident, playing well. That's not to say that Indiana Wesleyan's not playing well and not playing confident also, but by the same token, you just look out there and see the way that Dordt's playing. They're playing relaxed.
Indiana Wesleyan down by 8. Down to the low block again. Missed, followed, and blocked. After a couple of tries by Parker Stauffer. And the other end, a 3 is good for Sean Kaiser.
And who makes the pass? But Cliff Warner was able to bring the ball down and find his teammate Kaiser on the right wing, and Kaiser makes the 3.
Running miss to the basket by Vanderwater. Inside, lots of reaching and hacking going on, and now a foul called by Matt Mason.
I believe that's going to go against Taylor Schoen, his second foul. As kind of a scrum on the floor there, and both players going for it, and Taylor guilty of a little extra shove in there trying to get the basketball, and Dordt will have the ball underneath their own basket.
George Jones, Patrick Hopkins, both back in for the Wildcats. Defenders work it with 6.5 minutes to go before the half. Out of bounds. Will stay with Dordt. The defenders are second in the nation in team field goal percentage as well. 50.7% from the field coming into the tournament. So they are a confident team. Jordan Vogel, as we get the basket here for Sean Kaiser. Jordan Vogel is third in the nation individually in field goal percentage at 65.5%.
And they're not all right there at the basket. He's already shown some prowess of being able to hit that outside shot. 27-14 now, Dordt on top.
Down low to Hopkins for the score. Hopkins with 9 of Indiana Wesleyan's 16 points.
And the important thing as far as Indiana Wesleyan is concerned, their leading scorer, Widener, has not scored yet. Not even really had a shot thus far.
That'll be out. Look out. There's some kids that had Jordan Vogel coming right at him.
And I tell you what, Jordan Vogel at 6'7", coming at you if you're about a 8 or 10-year-old, about 3.2, 3 feet 2. We saw some kids scatter there, but no harm, no foul on the out of bounds. Wesleyan still not getting Widener involved in the offense. Hadn't touched the ball very many times.
Team fouls are very low. Indiana Wesleyan has committed only 2, both on Taylor Schoen, and Dordt has committed 4, all on different players. Inside pass, saved, but thrown into the tournament official chairs down at the end of press row.
And the reason that pass was thrown away is because they're trying, the Wildcats, to get Widener involved in the offense, but they tried a little bit too hard that time. Is because he was closely guarded and the ball goes out of bounds.
Little floater, no good. Follow way too strong from Sievers. Must have lost the grip on it there. Now Wesleyan the other way, and a travel called on Jordan Widener.
Maybe a little bit of frustration showing there. Jordan also feeling the pressure of not getting very many touches on the ball, and he touched the ball that time and just took too many steps on his way to the basket.
Senior Aaron Martin is back in for Indiana Wesleyan. 5 minutes to go in the first half. Dordt looking strong right now. Pass barely controlled, but possession alive for Trevor Wolterstorff. Off to the right wing. Three will not go for Katji.
Katji had time to look at it that time. It's just a little bit long. Like I say, when it releases from his hand, he's got a good-looking shot, but not successful.
Up and under for Hopkins, and a foul.
Hopkins with 9 points for the Wildcats and got the ball to the baseline, drove down through there, and drew the foul, which he's very good at as far as either scoring or drawing the two-shot foul. They give the foul to.
They don't have it up there yet. Okay. I thought Charlie Bolinek signaled number 33 on the foul, and that's who's shooting. There's not a 33 in the game for Dordt.
Now their official scores table over there is asking the same question. 55.
55, Sievers is second.
Patrick Hopkins now with double figures at 10 and one more free throw to shoot. Dordt 27, Indiana Wesleyan 17, 4:28 to go in the first half.
Hopkins with an 11-point first half, but his team trails by 9. Dordt clearly into forecourt with the ball and a give to Cliff Warner. Down it goes, and Hopkins steals it. Ahead to Widener. 1-on-2, and he hits it anyway.
And he's able to get on the scoring column, and maybe that'll get Widener going. A lot of times either a easy basket such as that or a free throw will get your top scorer going. We'll see if they can maintain that.
The 6-0 run for Indiana Wesleyan. Under 4 minutes to go, first half. 27-20, Dordt still with the lead. Down to Vogel for another jam.
He likes that play, and everyone else in this, unless you're an Indiana Wesleyan fan, likes to see those dunks coming down the lane.
Wildcats barely control in their forecourt. Widener takes a look over at Coach Greg Tonigal for the play and goes to work for the Wildcats. Drive and a miss by George Jones. Dordt will come the other way. Greg Tonigal was the coach of the year in the Crossroads League this year. Controlled by Sean Kaiser. Warner directs traffic, and now Dordt with 3 minutes to go in the half. And now 10 on the shot clock. Vogel against Hopkins, and he drops the shoulder and gets a charge.
He dropped the shoulder, and whether the defender is really set there or not, 9 times out of 10, if you drop that shoulder, you're going to get called for the foul. And Vogel guilty of his second.
Taylor Schoen back in for Indiana Wesleyan. Tyler Wolterstorff back in after that, whatever that brief injury was now. 2:45 to go in the half. Hopkins down the lane, and he gets an offensive foul. And he ran over Vogel.
And Vogel, what you see is what you get. You know, you're going to do that to me, I'm going to do it to you at the other end. That's exactly what Vogel did. Very smart play. Got himself set this time, and Patrick Hopkins bowls him over. Only one foul against Hopkins for the Wildcats.
What a chance Vogel took there, though, already with 2 fouls, and it paid off for him. (29-20), Dordt with a lead. Cross it goes. Kaiser down to the corner. It goes out of bounds and will stay with the defenders.
29-20, Dordt on top of Indiana Wesleyan. Still 2:16 to go in the first half, and now then lining up trying to get a defender and an offensive player, defender and an offensive player. Everybody wants their space in there.
Well, now, here, Dave, the defenders are the offensive players.
Yeah, good point. That's what confused me. Maybe that's what the officials are saying. Hey, you're the defenders. You don't have the ball, but they do.
The defenders are not the defenders here. Right side for Dordt. Kaji, shot clock at 2. Vogel caught some rim there, and an offensive rebound for Tyler Wolterstorff.
Just enough rim to reset the shot clock. He got it off the board, and then as it come off the board, barely grazed the rim and correctly reset the shot clock.
There's a collision in the lane, and a foul called that's going to put Cliff Warner on the free throw line.
I believe that one's going to go against Vandewater of Indiana Wesleyan. And no,
and it's not, not 1-and-1.
I was thinking it was a 1-and-1 also.
There's 6 on the other side, and Charlie Bolinek gave that mechanic, but quickly corrected it. 1:43 to go in the half. Here's Vogel. Score. This is quite a battle of the big men in this game.
And I tell you, Vogel's showing some prowess of stepping outside and hitting the 15-footer along the baseline as that went down for him.
Jones takes it in. Stripped away. It'll be Wildcat basketball with 1:27 to go. First half and a timeout will be called by Ross Dauma with a 1:27 to go. In the first half, Dordt leading 31-20.
In the NAIA, we believe character shouldn't be just confined to the campus. It is a very grassroots process, and as a result, one that speaks with authenticity and authority. Get your community involved in Champions of Character. Learn more at championsofcharacter.org.
Make sure to check out more exciting action of other NAIA national championships by going to NAIA.org. The Division II Women's Basketball National Championship is available now, and the Men's and Women's Division I Championships are coming up starting next Wednesday. Go to the NAIA website for more information. Don West and Dave Beckett at College of the Ozarks. Indiana Wesleyan will inbound, 1:27 to go, first half. Morning basketball at the NAIA National Championship. Inside to Hopkins for the score.
Hopkins get it down there that low, and he scores his 13th point. Had trouble finding the handle, but once he got it, he was able to muscle it up and in for the Wildcats.
Now Dordt with Kachi nailing a 2. He hit 2 threes earlier, and now adds a 2 to his total.
And a contested 2 as a good defense out there, just a better shot by Kachi.
Under a minute to go first half. Top of the circle, DJ Bettinger. Haven't heard much from him today. Inside, Hopkins. See if he goes to the hole again. He'll take a guarded shot and hit that. He is playing like an All-American.
He is, and his team needs him to play that way to keep him in the game because, like I say, Widener with only 2 points thus far and Schoen with 5, everybody else with not anything.
Up and under for Trevor Wolterstorff. 35-24 Dordt. 11 seconds to go in the half. Pull up 3, Widener won't get there. 2 seconds. And a 3 from half court with contact not called, and that'll take us to halftime. So, we'll catch our breath at halftime of this one with Dordt leading Indiana Wesleyan 35-24. It was the Wildcats who jumped out to a 6-2 lead, but then Dordt came back to tie the game at 8 and went on to lead most of the rest of the way from there, except for a 10-10 tie early in that span. And the defenders have a 35-24 lead here at the half. Here's how the scoring went. in the first half for Indiana Wesleyan. Patrick Hopkins with 15 of their 24. Taylor Schoen had 5, Zach Vandewater 2, and Jordan Widener 2 for the Wildcats. And for Dordt, Jordan Vogel, the 6'7 senior, had 10. Austin Kotche with 8, Trevor Wolterstorff with 8. Sean Kaiser, 7 big points off the bench. And Kyle Lindbergh had 2 for the defenders. Once again, the winner of this game will play Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock Central Time against the winner of a game later today between unseeded Bellevue and the number 2 seed Cardinal Stritch. So halftime here at College of the Ozarks. Dordt leading Indiana Wesleyan 35-24. We'll step aside and be back in about 8 minutes for second half action of Dordt and Indiana Wesleyan here on NAIA.org. Ready to go in the second half here, Indiana Wesleyan and Dordt in a good battle at the NAIA Men's Division II National Basketball Championship. Dordt leading 35-24, Don West along with Dave Beckett. In the first half stats, Dordt was 16 of 26 from the field, 62%. They were 3 of 7 from 3 and did not attempt a free throw. Indiana Wesleyan 9 of 30 for 30%, 0 of 5 from 3 and 6 of 8 at the foul line. Rebounds 15 apiece, turnovers 8 apiece.
And, of course, the leading scorer, Patrick Hopkins of the Wildcats, which he is one of their leading scorers all year long, but their other leading scorer, Widener, only with 2 points in the first half. I'm sure that that's something that the Wildcats would like to rectify here in the second half, where on the other hand, kind of spread the scoring out, have the Dordt College defenders.
10 for Jordan Vogel in a great battle to watch between he and Hopkins. Here they match up again. Hopkins works it low and missed. The follow is no good for Schoen.
Had a good look at it on the offensive rebound, but unable to make connections, and Dordt back on the attack.
Now to the basket. Drive and a score by Trevor Wolterstorff.
Gives him 10, so that's 2 in double figures for the defenders now, as increase that lead to 37-24.
Hopkins and Vogel again. Trying to see if they can work a foul on Vogel. Instead, Hopkins gets another basket. He is up to 17 points. Hopkins was 6 for 10 from the field in the first half.
And it's pretty simple. Just kind of clear out the lane, let him go one-on-one, and just back the defender down, which it is a defender of Dordt College. And Patrick Hopkins taking advantage of that easy shot down low for 17.
Dordt leading it by 11. Shot is good for Trevor Wolterstorff. He's come out firing.
Scored 2 baskets in a row for the defenders, and Indiana Wesleyan back. Always try to get Widener to touch the ball, but really not in the position to shoot. Got Widener the ball now, and he's going to have to give it up again.
Hopkins works down to the block. He's got Wolterstorff on him this time, and he scores.
Pretty little kiss off the glass that time from about 12 feet out. Went to his left and used the glass and put it through, giving him 19 on the afternoon.
Shot up and no good. Vogel disrupting, and he keeps it alive for Dordt.
Very active hands shown that time by Vogel, as Warner this time puts up a little push shot, and he scores his first 2 of the afternoon.
And he and Wolterstorff are the 2 leading scorers for the defenders. That's the first basket for Warner. And then Vogel is right there too. That's what makes them tough. They've got 4 double-figure averages in the starting lineup.
Yeah, both 2 14.5 and 1 13.5. So, like you say, that diversifies as far as the attack is concerned, and that's what makes you a good team. But on the other hand, coming into the game, Wildcats about the same, but good defense and denial of the basketball to Widener, not allowing Widener to get off track.
Schoen went down hard. He seems to be okay. Chris Sievers is back in for Dordt, and so is Sean Kaiser. For Indiana Wesleyan, Parker Stauffer, the 6'7" junior. Now the Wildcats. Widener can't get it. Tapped out. Another chance. Back down low. Stauffer, close range miss. Comes back to him. Spins it out.
That's the difference between Stauffer and Hopkins. Is Hopkins, if he misses that shot, he's going to get his own rebound and score, where wasn't able to do that, but now then sneaking in was Schoen and was able to score for the Wildcats.
So Hopkins out for a rest here for the moment. For the Wildcats, 41-30, the lead for Dordt. 4 minutes in, second half. Deep 3. You betcha, Austin Kachi.
I tell you what, he could put on a shooting clinic as far as I'm concerned. He catches that ball and already has it cocked and ready as far as the shooting motion, goes right straight up strong and just flips it in. Good looking shot.
He has 3 of the 4 threes that have been hit by the defenders today. Little flip underneath and a foul. Bettinger took it in. The foul is to Cliff Warner. His first foul.
And it was on the shot, so it'll be a 2-shot foul for Bettinger.
Bettinger just 8 of 11 at the free throw line for the season. He had 5 points in their win over Lords.
That's unusual for a guard, and he's played quite a bit of the games, 24 of the 31 games, but, you know, evidently he's just been more or less distributing the ball or shooting the ball outside, but makes the first of 2.
And both go down, and George Jones comes in for it.
Now then, a little bit of pressure going to be put on by the Wildcats. 2-2-1 zone press. And Warner just being methodical there and just works it around and gets the ball across half court and sets up their offense.
Out and around to Warner. Big collision, no call, and it goes out of bounds to the Wildcats.
Pressure really didn't hurt or bother the defenders that time. Just come down and turned it over on the offensive end, but I'm sure that Indiana Wesleyan's pressure is going to get a little bit more aggressive as this game goes along. As Dordt 44 and Indiana Wesleyan 32 with 15 minutes to go in this ball game.
Indiana Wesleyan looking for a little breakthrough here. Here, three is no good for Aaron Martin. Dordt heads back down quickly. Three headed home. Kaiser with a miss.
Wesleyan with the rebound, and now then Warner comes up with the steal.
That will be kicked out of bounds, and Dort's going to get the ball on the correction by Matt Mason, the referee.
And I tell you, you're talking about the pressure by Indiana Wesleyan. Be able to set up your pressure, you got to score, and you know whenever you don't score, you can't set up that full court press. So the defenders come away with the steal after the rebound by Indiana Wesleyan, and now back on the attack. The 1-3-1 zone looks like.
Into the lane. That one doesn't get there for Wolterstorff. Back out, and another chance. Warner, too much on the three. Sievers fights for the rebound and gets fouled by Schoen.
Taylor Schoen getting his third, but trying to just tip the ball away from Sievers, and the official right there and grabbed him, did Schoen, and third foul against Taylor Schoen of the Wildcats.
Now another three. This one's in for Kaiser, his second of the day, and his 30th of the year.
And that puts him in double figures with 10, so that's four young men for the defenders in double figures.
Schoen with a basket, he has 9 now. So briefly there, a 15-point lead now at 13 for Dordt. Out of bounds, and the defenders will keep it. Jordan Vogel back in for Dordt. Jordan Widener returns for the Wildcats.
Wildcats went to a zone last time that the Dordt come down and was running their offense. We'll see what, right now they're in a man-to-man out of the out-of-bounds play, but see if they maintain that kind of defensive pressure, which they do.
Up and in for Cliff Warner.
Kind of an acrobatic Cliff Warner made shot as he drove into the lane and got up and able to, while he was in the air, double pumped as Widener goes the other end, and shot is blocked, but also picking up the foul will be the defenders. Foul's going to go against Kaiser, and Widener will go to the line to shoot 2.
So Jordan Widener, 81% foul shooter, and he's shot almost 200 free throws this year. Good on the first.
Team fouls, that's the third team foul on Dordt, and Indiana Wesleyan only with 1 with 13:19 to go.
Just 1. That'll be, let's see, Wildcats ball.
Long rebound comes out, and Dordt kind of just let the ball slip out of his fingers over there on the far side as Kaiser unable to corral it.
Now a foul. Hopkins and Bogle hooking up again.
Vogel going to pick up his third foul, which could be a big foul as far as the defenders are concerned. Fourth team foul.
Hopkins has just one foul in that matchup on the other end of it. Give to Widener off the inbounds. No connection. Hopkins puts it back in.
Hopkins cleans it up as Widener misses the shot, but it is a soft rebound, and right there was Hopkins to clean up the mess and score.
Look out, there's a foul. Getting rough on this trip down.
Well, the Wildcats had jumped out into a double team whenever they passed to the wing over there. They tried to double team the defenders, and kind of in jail there was Kaiser, but he was able to get the ball out, and a foul called
on Aaron Martin. Martin gets his first. That's just the sixth foul of the day called on Indiana Wesleyan, the second of the second half. 13 minutes to go here at College of the Ozarks. Second round game. Here's a three. Count it.
And three by who?
Kachi.
As he gets 14 points on the afternoon now. Down at the other end, Widener scores on a quick layup at the other end. So traded a 3 for a 2. The Wildcats really didn't gain anything there by that 2-point basket, but by the same token, they were able to score. Straight man now by the Wildcats, and very aggressive, and that aggressiveness pays off with a foul against the Wildcats. Going to go against George Jones, the fourth. And it was on the shot.
First free throws of the day here for Dordt. Will be shot by Trevor Wolterstorff, 70% for the year. Foul was on George Jones, the fourth.
Makes the second, gives him Tyler Wolterstorff 13, Kachi with 14, Sean Kaiser with 10, and Jordan Vogel with 10 to almost do all but 6 points, make up the scoring for the defenders.
Ball is out of bounds, and it stays with the Wildcats.
Widener trying to go backdoor that time, but good recovery by Kyle Lindbergh to knock the ball out of bounds.
Into Widener for three.
And who's there to clean it up?
There's Hopkins. He has 23.
Patrick Hopkins working hard inside. You won't see a better big man as far as working trying to get the offensive rebound.
Vogel kicks it back out. Kachi too much on that one. Vogel the offensive rebound, and Widener knocks it out of bounds. Sievers heads back in along with Kaiser for the defenders, and we'll get timeout with 11:49 to go. And Dordt still holding the Wildcats at an arm's distance here in the second half. It's 53-41 defenders.
The phrase student athlete has a great ring to it. Join 60,000 others who feel the same way. You'll never run out of room to grow. On the court, in the classroom, and as a person. There are lasting friendships waiting to be made with students, coaches, and the entire campus community. Learn more at NAIA.org.
This winner will play the winner of Bellevue and Cardinal Stritch Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock in the quarterfinals. One game already completed today at C of O, College of the Ozarks. Between two unseeded teams, Midland defeated York in overtime, 76-71. The next matchup will be the number 1 seed, William Penn, against unseeded Bethel.
And Bethel had played really well in their first round game. In fact, I did that game, and I think William Penn and Bethel could be a really good and exciting close game here in the national tournament at Point Lookout.
Dordt will inbound from the side. Kachi coming up, Widener staying in his face. Down low, Sievers through and in.
Sievers just muscled that one up, give Patrick Hopkins a little bit of his own medicine. Of course, only 2 points for Sievers that time, but went up strong and was able to score.
Three will rattle in and stay down.
Vandewater for his 5th point of the game for the Wildcats. 11-point lead for the defenders, and they have the basketball.
Vandewater's 14th three-pointer of the season. Now a three is off no good by Warner. Rebound for Hopkins. He fires it ahead to George Jones for the layup.
George Jones, the 4th, had kind of snuck down, I want to say downfield. It looked like a long touchdown pass, but he had snuck down court behind the defense and was able to get a pass from Patrick Hopkins.
Now, apparently no timeout called, but play is dead here for the moment.
I'm not sure why the stoppage of play, but at any rate, it'll be Dordt basketball. But you can see the intensity of the defensive end by the Indiana Wesleyan Wildcats as Dordt tries to run their offense, playing a lot more tougher man-to-man defense are the Wildcats.
Almost a travel, but avoided somehow by Sean Kaiser. And this will go into backcourt. It'll be Wesleyan's ball.
And Coach Tonagel has decided that defense is going to defensive pressure, good hard pressure on everybody on the floor, just not 1 or 2 people, but go ahead and play that what I call belly up defense and try to make things happen. As we got a long pass and it goes out of bounds off the hands of the Dordt defender.
Vogel knocked it out. What once was a 15-point lead is now down to 9 for Dordt with 10:17 to play. Into Hopkins, works on Vogel, one way, then the other, and in.
Faked one way, went the other, used the drop step, got himself wide open, and that's hard to defend down there.
The 7-0 run for Indiana Wesleyan to get back in this thing now, down by 7.
Foul's going to be called on Hopkins, his 2nd. And I was talking about that real hard defense that Indiana Wesleyan employs. As a player, I mean, it is hard to do. Trip after trip after trip takes a lot out of you. And then on the offensive end, sometimes you kind of try to rest down there. But Wesleyan can't afford to do that.
Team fouls are even at 4 apiece. Here's Warner driving, dishing, and a score and a foul for Kyle Lindbergh.
Kyle Lindbergh went up and went strong to the basket. Otherwise, that shot would have been blocked. And Lindbergh just took it to the basket, drew the foul, and was able to go ahead and make the basket.
It's on Hopkins again, and that's his 3rd. And now they're going to see if that's who indeed the foul was on.
Correction, the foul is on number 30, Aaron Martin.
It's on Aaron Martin.
So that correction is in the favor of the Wildcats. I didn't think that Hopkins was in the vicinity, but I was looking more at the basket, the ball going in the basket more than who the foul was against. Be the 2nd foul against Martin.
Schoen replaces Martin, so 2 fouls on Hopkins and a brief scare there for the Wildcats. Free throw is down for Kyle Lindbergh. Lead back to 10 for Dordt. Ball is, a foul is called by Matt Mason, and that's a late call. He's going to really hear about it, but probably got it right, albeit a second or 2 late.
And, his partner over there on the other side maybe did not see the grab, but I'm like you. I thought it was the correct call, but the fans from Dordt, of course, didn't think that was a foul at all. Of course, never foul if it's your own team.
Lindbergh gets his 2nd foul. Team fouls are 5 apiece now with 9.5 minutes to go. Widener for 3. Hadn't found it. Rebound to Vogel.
Big rebound that time by Vogel as he had Hopkins boxed out that time and not allowing him to get the offensive rebound.
Warner directs traffic, looks for a screen, and now Hopkins, and he's double teamed at half court, able to pass out of it. Three is no good. There's an injured Wildcat after the miss by Kotji. And is that Widener? He's face down, yeah.
Run into a screen. He felt like he was fouled, did Widener, but, you know, the official was right there and shook his head as the play developed. But 58-48 is the score. The Dordt defenders on top.
So the ball was just blown dead to check on Widener. Now the officials are going to get together.
And we talked about I've been meaning to say something about this the entire time, talk about the following of Dordt defenders looking over there in their cheering section. And the student side, you got 2 or 3 officials, or 2 or 3 guys dressed as officials. One guy dressed as a banana. One guy is Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah.
So diversified fans over there, but they're into the ball game. And that's what makes college athletics so much fun to come and be a part of.
There was a whole row of those referee shirts over there, and now 4 of them big old dudes have taken their shirts off.
Yeah, and they got letters on themselves that makes them capital letters as big as they are. What they're doing, they're looking at the monitor to see if maybe a possible blow to the head or something of that nature would be my guess. It happened right here in front of us. I didn't see anything, but I don't have the ability to look at it as closely as they're looking at it at the monitor. But that is why the delay is here. They are making sure that there's not a flagrant type foul of any sort.
So neither coach particularly happy, it looks like now.
And it was a situation where Widener ran into a good hard screen, but the reason it was such a hard screen is because Widener was going full speed whenever he hit the screener. And the screener was definitely set, and Widener hits the screener and just kind of almost melts down into the floor, and had to be a blow, so to speak, as far as hurt a little bit, but Widener was wanting the foul. After all that, the ball had gone off to the hands of the defender, so Indiana Wesleyan does have possession.
8:49 to play in the game. Dordt leading by 10. And the defenders have led since they broke a 10-10 tie early on. Underneath it goes to Hopkins, and he'll go up and score.
27 points for the big man inside, but nobody else in double figures for the Wildcats.
Taken away, and a foul against Dordt. Vandewater took it away and gets fouled by Lindbergh.
Lindbergh going to pick up his sixth team foul. So after this one, the rest of the way, it'll be a 1-and-1 for Indiana Wesleyan. Wesleyan, on the other hand, having 5 team fouls. .58-50, and Wesleyan with the ball could make it interesting here if they can score with still 8 minutes to go in the ball game.
Dordt is led by as many as 15. Indiana Wesleyan looking to close the gap. Widener for 3. Big shot, but it's an air ball. Rebounded by Schoen. Oh, they reset the shot clock and shouldn't have.
And that's an example where Widener is feeling the pressure. He's only got 5 points on the day. Yes, he was open, but really wasn't set, but felt like he needed to take the shot, try to hit the three-pointer, and fortunately for the Wildcats, teammate was able to knock it back into the Wildcat possession.
There's going to be 23 on the shot clock. Eight minutes to go. Out to the top. 3 for Vandewater, no. Look at Hopkins and Sievers. It's knocked out. It will be Dordt's ball.
Seavers trying to get the ball down low the same as what Hopkins has been able to do, but really haven't been able to get the ball down low. Just had a warning on the bench of Indiana Wesleyan to sit down over there on the far side.
And most of their players were standing up. In comes the drive by Wolterstorff, and he gets fouled.
I believe Hopkins is going to be whistled for the foul, and that will be his third this time.
Team fouls are 6 apiece now. Trevor Wolterstorff at the line for 2.
Makes the first, giving him 14 on the afternoon. 59-50 the lead for Dordt. And second one up and in.
Timeout now. 60-50. Dordt with the lead with 7:32 to play in the game.
You can't see it or feel it, but you know and value when someone shows it. Character, it's at the heart of who we are. Learn more about the NAIA Champions of Character program at championsofcharacter.org.
Make sure to check out more exciting action of other NAIA national championships by going to NAIA.org. The Division II Women's Basketball National Championship is available now, and the Men's and Women's Division I Championships in basketball are coming up next Wednesday in Kansas City. Go to NAIA.org for more information.
And 60,000 student athletes, close to 300 college campuses, 23 national championship events, and $450 million in athletic aid. Get in the game today at playnaia.org. This one still has all the look of one coming down to the wire, even though there is a 10-point deficit facing Indiana Wesleyan. Still 7:32 to go in this ball game, but this has been a hard-fought ball game both ways.
Dordt has led most of the way except for the first few minutes. Now the Wildcats clear it into their forecourt. Jones kicked to Schoen, and he got it in.
Schoen able to flip it in. The second player to get in double figures for the Wildcats. Got 11 now, does Taylor Schoen.
And a pretty quick shot and a foul. Wolterstorff gets fouled at Hopkins. That's his fourth.
That's going against Patrick Hopkins. 4 fouls, 7 minutes to go in the ball game, and that a big foul by Patrick Hopkins. In my opinion, it looked like it was a foul all the way, and stepped to the line to shoot 2 shots.
Patrick Hopkins, one of 6 seniors for Indiana Wesleyan. The first one here is up and good for Wolterstorff. Five seniors on the Dordt roster.
Both fall through, giving him 17 on the afternoon and a 62-52 lead, back to 10 for Dordt.
Inside, taken away.
Going for the lob in there along the baseline, but good defense by Dordt that time, smelled it out.
Warner to the basket. And underneath and back out. To the hole goes Wolterstorff again.
Did not get the roll that time, but just as importantly, draws the foul and be able to go to the line to shoot 2 more shots.
Taylor Schoen gets his fourth. We'll get a timeout called by Greg Tonigal. So Two of his senior leaders, Patrick Hopkins and Taylor Schoen, now with 4 fouls apiece as the Wildcats go to their huddle. 6:23 to go in the game, and Dordt leading 62-52.
And still a lot of time, 6:23 to go in the ball game. Indiana Wesleyan doesn't have to start throwing up threes by any stretch, but by the same token, you got to rebound defensively. You can't give up any offensive rebounds to Dordt. But on the other side of the coin, Dordt needs to continue to attack the basket, but maybe start running just a little bit of clock, maybe run it down to maybe 20 seconds before you start into your offensive mode. Got to play good defense, though, because I look for Indiana Wesleyan to continue to just pound the ball inside to Hopkins because he's the best thing they've got going tonight.
If they somehow lose him, they may be in trouble.
They'll be in trouble because Widener is just not having a good game from the floor, playing hard defense, but, you know, it's one of those games whenever the shot's just not falling and maybe need to give it up to somebody else. And again, Taylor Schoen, the other one with double figures for the Wildcats with 4 fouls. So can't give up either one of those because that's your scores in this ball game for the Indiana Wesleyan Wildcats.
Now, Schoen has scored 11. He had just 2 in their win over Lords. 4-point-a-game average for Schoen, but he has played well today with 11 points.
2 shots for Walderstorff as he was fouled on a drive to the basket. Missed one. First one he's missed in a while. Missed the second one. And Hopkins right there to clean up the board.
Dordt up by 10. Indiana Wesleyan looking to come to single digits again. Jones left it short.
Jones tried to go in there one-on-one and had a good shot at the basket, but just simply was unable to make connections. Running some clock as they're running their motion offense are the Dordt defenders.
They haven't really seemed to pay much attention to the clock here so far.
It's coming down to the point where you need to, down to 13 seconds on the shot clock, and what do? They find Walderstorff down inside at the 12-second mark on the shot clock, so they ran some clock that time.
Well, to clarify, I didn't mean they were looking at checking out the shot clock. I meant just it didn't seem like they were trying to kill time on any of their possessions yet.
Not at all. Neither team really has been in a position where it's been a shot clock or close to a shot clock violation because they've been up and down, back and forth. But now, strategy-wise, is whenever you start using that clock to your advantage if you're Dordt.
Chris Sievers gets his 3rd foul, and Patrick Hopkins will shoot 2. 66% at the line this year. Close to 200 free throw attempts, and he misses the first.
Walderstorff just missed 2, and Patrick Hopkins has obliged half that favor at the other end, missed his first of 2. If you're behind, that's the one thing you've got to do. You've got to be able to hit some free throws and just chip away with the clock not running. Missed them both. 2 big misses for the Wildcats.
.5:11 to play in the game. Inside for Sievers. He got it.
And again, shot clock was down to about 13 seconds before they went inside, and Sievers was able to muscle it up and in, giving him 4 points.
That one thrown up there.
But was able to draw the foul. Patrick Hopkins will step to the line to shoot 2 more. Foul's going to go against Kaiser, his 2nd for the defenders. Hopkins, as he was going to the floor, like you say, just kind of flipped it up in the direction of the basket and drew some foul and contact from Kaiser. Having a rough time at the line. 3 in a row. And that's not a situation, yes, nerves is part of it, but that young man has got to be physically spent, got to be tired out there because he's worked very hard, made the second. Dordt back on the attack, and we'll bring it out to Warner and run the offense out high here.
Deep ball no good for Kotche. Sievers is there. Out of bounds to the Wildcats.
And the Dordt faithful felt like that Hopkins might have should have picked up the 5th foul there, but you know, it wasn't the case. And Wesleyan back on the attack, Widener with the basketball.
The Wildcats are 1 of 11 from 3 today. Free throw is good for Schoen, or the shot inside good.
Giving him 13 for the afternoon, and right back are the defenders, but now then they're going to pull the ball out, run a little bit, see if they can get an easy shot.
4 minutes to go.
Kotche from way out.
Oh. Didn't go for him. Widener hadn't found the range from 3, and there's a big foul coming through, and is that Schoen?
That'll be Schoen, and that'll be his 5th foul on the rebound. And Warner, the quarterback or the point guard that he is, looks to his teammates and says, hey, let's run some clock before we make those shots down there, and let's try to use the clock to our advantage and kind of taking control out there as the leader of this team. Fouls out with 13 points. Played very well for Indiana Wesleyan, did Taylor Schoen.
Aaron Martin back in to replace him.
3:50 to go in this ball game, and Dordt College defenders 66 and Indiana Wesleyan University Wildcats 55. Indiana Wesleyan the number 7 seed and Dordt the number 10 seed.
Trevor Wolterstorff shooting. Dordt is now 6 of 9 at the free throw line today. All in the second half, and the first one's good. Wolterstorff has 20.
It seems like Wolterstorff has shot almost all of them as far as the team is concerned. Every time we look up, he's standing at the line and done a good job thus far. He missed 2 last time, but made 2 this time.
Well, he shot all of them but 1.
All of them but 1. I thought he had been out there pretty well most of the time.
68-55 Dordt, 3:40 to play. Inside, Martin tapped up and rebounded by Wolterstorff.
Dordt content to just kind of walk the ball across mid-floor. Warner brings it out, then trying to keep it out to the top. Still 18 seconds to go on the shot clock. And now then Warner takes a shot with about 11 seconds, but look at the defenders come up with the offensive rebound and brings it back out.
Doing the right thing here, bringing it out.
Kotche with that big offensive rebound.
The score for Sean Kaiser. Now Dordt is looking more and more like a team that's going to move on. The score for Widener and a foul.
Took it to the basket, did Jordan Widener, and scored and drew the foul, so a possible 3-point play.
Vogel gets his 4th foul. We'll get a timeout with 2:47 left.
And the score 70-57, Dordt on top, Indiana Wesleyan. The NAIA student athletes stand for something when they compete: integrity, respect, responsibility, sportsmanship, and servant leadership. Learn more about the NAIA and Champions of Character at championsofcharacter.org.
Patrick Hopkins, 28 points, 7 rebounds today. He's 12 of 17 from the field, 4 of 8 at the free throw line. Taylor Schoen fouled out with 13 points. He also got 7 rebounds.
And like I say, just 2 people in double figures for Indiana Wesleyan, where on the other hand, Dordt has spread the scoring around. Has got 1, 2, 3, 4 with double-figure scoring, led by Trevor Warderstorff. And, it comes down to a situation where Dordt's going to have to take care of the basketball, and Indiana Wesleyan's going to have to figure out a way to score and score quickly and then do a good job defending. But with 2:47 to go and a 13-point lead, it's Dordt's game to lose, so to speak. If they just take care of the basketball, they should be all right. But we'll see what Coach Greg Tonigal has come up after this timeout and a free throw by Widener.
He will have one. And he left it out there. Wesleyan is now 10 of 17 from the free throw line and 1 of 12 from 3.
Oh, near steal at half court by Indiana Wesleyan, but not there, and already started fouling, looks like. And going to put Cliff Warner at the line.
Aaron Martin gets his third foul.
Indiana Wesleyan foul number 30. Aaron Martin, his third, team 10.
Cliff Warner shooting. His first trip to the line today. 4 points and 9 assists today for Cliff Warner.
Even though he did have that shadowing defense the entire game, it didn't let him Cliff Warner, the senior leader that he is, as he makes the first. A lot of times whenever teams come out and play face-up defense, you kind of get frustrated. But Cliff Warner's just kind of waited and bided his time and took advantage of the opportunities that he had and been a good floor leader for the Dordt College defenders. Missed the second.
Here goes Hopkins down toward Vogel again. Rebound for Wolterstorff. Hopkins and Vogel both with 4 fouls now. Will either one of them see the end here today? Of the game, I mean. One of them's going to see the end
of their season,
of their season and of their career. They're both seniors. 2 minutes to play. The foul.
I'm surprised to let that much time run off the shot clock, did the Indiana Wesleyan Wildcats, but stepping to the line will be Sean Kaiser. Sean with 12 points on the afternoon. 71-57, Dordt on top, Indiana Wesleyan with just under 2 minutes. In fact, 1:57 to go in the game.
Chris Sievers back in for Dordt.
And Vogel goes to the bench just in case he needs to come back. Does have 4 fouls, does Vogel, but Sievers in for Dordt.
Let's correct that. Was that who at the line? Kaiser?
Kaiser.
Yeah, so
yes.
That is 13 points for him.
13 points for Kaiser. 21 for Volderschwart. 14 for Kachi. And 10 for Vogel, with those 4 players in double figures for Dordt.
72-57, Dordt tying their biggest lead of the day now at 15 with 1:57 to go.
That last foul for Indiana Wesleyan was on Aaron Martin, his 4th. So Patrick Hopkins with 4, Martin with 4, and Taylor Schoen already fouling out with about 2 minutes ago. Going to be a very high mountain to climb. I mean, stranger things have happened. 15-point deficit facing Indiana Wesleyan, but Dordt calling that timeout. Coach Dalma making sure that all the players are on the same page and saying that what we need to do is work the clock when we do get the ball, take care of the basketball. In fact, even going to put a little bit of pressure is Dordt with that 15-point lead and make Indiana Wesleyan use some time off the clock as they bring the ball up floor.
Yeah, won't let them roll the ball to half court. That's a good idea. 1:57, and now counting to go in this game. Dordt leads by 15. Pass to Hopkins. He'll go against Sievers. Get it back himself and get fouled.
Well, that young man works hard in there as he got the shot up and left it short, but went right back and got his own rebound, put the shot up and drew the foul. Kaiser picking up his third for Dordt. 2 shots for Patrick Hopkins. Try to get to 30. 29.
Got the first one down. Player of the year in the Crossroads League this year.
And I can see why. He works very hard, and he's a tough one to defend, I'm telling you.
Second leading rebounder in the nation. He has 30 now. But at 72-59, Dordt. Defenders lead by 15 with a minute and a half to go. Oops, this one's going to go out of bounds. And the Wildcats will get it. Missed connection there on the pass.
But still, Dordt played decent defense, and now then returned the favor did the Wildcats and turned the ball right back over to Dordt. Didn't get a shot off that time, and when you're trying to come back, you've got to at least get an attempt at the basket. Oh,
take it away. Ahead to Jones. He got it and got fouled, and that wasn't really necessary from Sean Kaiser.
No, go ahead and give the layup there. One, you don't get the foul, plus an extra point possibility off the free throw.
So Jones will try to make it a 10-point game now.
And Kaiser whistle for the foul, his 4th for Dordt. Kaiser makes the free throw, giving him 5 on the afternoon. And 72-62, back to a 10-point lead at 1 minute to go.
So Dordt, barring a disaster here for them, is going to move on. Warner dribbles through traffic with a pass. Still 10 on the shot clock for the defenders, and a foul on Hopkins, and that's going to be all for Patrick Hopkins.
Patrick Hopkins going to go out of this ball game with 30 points. Worked very hard. Played almost the entire game. He was out a few minutes there in the first half, but that young man's looks like career is going to finish here for Indiana Wesleyan. But what a fine player and a good entertainer as far as that's concerned. If you're a basketball fan, you got to appreciate the effort that young man's put on the floor today.
Tyler Greathouse replaces him. There are 6 seniors for Indiana Wesleyan that look like they're going to see the end of the line today. 2 of them haven't seen the floor yet, Darian Michael and Zach Arrington. Kachi with the first of 2 here, but the other 4, Taylor Schoen already fouled out. Aaron Martin is a senior, Patrick Hopkins, and George Jones the 4th.
Made them both, did Kachi. Got 16 on the afternoon.
Offensive foul on Widener.
Smart play by Kaiser that time, getting in the way, and Kaiser just bowls him over. And it'll go back Dorton's way. Coach Tonigal kind of pulling in the reserves and saying, you know,
pulling his seniors now.
We'll live to play another day, but the seniors going to get some recognition there from their fans, as they should.
Clock wasn't running when the ball was thrown in there. So now Matt Mason and Ronnie Watson get together to see if they're going to take any time off or just pick it up from here. Now what? They're going to go to the monitor.
They're going to go to the monitor to see exactly this time, but didn't run very much last possession as far as that's concerned, but a 12-point deficit here, but got to make sure that everything is correct. They go down there to the supervisor of officials as Pete will pull that up and be able to tell exactly how much time should be on there, because the running clock is on his monitor down there.
Pete Hansen down there, the supervisor of officials for this tournament. Well, we're starting at 41.5 on the clock, and let's see where we're going to go.
Both coaches shake their heads and didn't throw their fists in the air, so I guess that means they're in agreement there. Now then, conferring with the official timekeeper, 36.5 is what they're going to put. And a 35-second shot clock, just a second and a half more, so shot clock remains on. I wouldn't think that there would be any more scoring here, but you never know.
The Dordt fans are going to rejoice here just in mere seconds. Now foul.
Widener guilty of the foul, and Warner will step to the line.
So Indiana Wesleyan will finish 26-7. Dordt will move on with a record of 28-6 to play Saturday afternoon at 3 Central against either Bellevue or Cardinal Stritch. Those two teams play each other today in a afternoon game that was supposed to start at 1:45, probably more like 2 or 2:15. For Dordt, Nathan Rendles wants back in. And here comes Reese Beaver into the game for Dordt.
And Coach Dalma giving a chance to get his players an ovation from the big group that they brought with them as Warner makes the second of two.
He'll come out now. Nathan Rendles in for him.
I like the way that Warner plays, just plays under control all the time and goes out to a nice hand.
Drive to the basket and a miss for DJ Bettinger, and now Dordt will dribble it out. The defenders win 75-62 to move on to the quarterfinals. The number 10 seeded Dordt defenders end the season for Indiana Wesleyan, advance to the quarterfinals tomorrow at 3 to play Bellevue or Cardinal Stritch.
Fun ball game today. Indiana Wesleyan, I'm sure, feeling like they didn't play their best, but you got to credit that to the victor. In this particular case, the Dordt College defenders, as Dordt comes out and does exactly what they had to do. Yes, they gave up 30 points, but didn't let anybody else score much, and that was probably the game plan. Don't let 3 or 4 guys get off. Maybe we can have one score a lot of points, but play good defense.
And Dordt never got as close